Yo guys, going on? Welcome back. Episode 28 of the Realistic Career Mode. Loads to get through today, as always, on the back of our knockout in the Carabao Cup to Brentford. We'll have the FA Cup third round away against West Brom at the Hawthorns. The January window is going to open where we might make some new signings to add to the 10 we made in the summer. And we start with this. Rock bottom Sheffield United coming to Old Trafford. 3 wins in a row in the league, no losses in our last 4, best mini run of the season. Only way we stay in the top 4 is by extending it. Let's start off with big 3 points here at Old Trafford. I noticed a familiar face who's just got on the ball for Sheffield United as well. Susak. Don't think I even forgot about him, man. Seriously, if you remember, we got him out of the academy in season 1 with Leicester after scouting Thailand. There was 2 Susaks, but he was the best of the 2. Went out to Sheffield United, had that overall spike we sometimes see for loan players. For those curious, 81 overall now. And he was a long-term successor of mine for Steffi Mavididi at the Foxes. But I ain't forgot about him. Even though he moved on to Manchester United, I'll be thinking about bringing him here to Old Trafford instead. As, oh, great save, Michael Cooper. We look for an early goal in the first 10 minutes here. When you're in good form, man, I say this all the time, you've just got to stay in attack mode. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal. Don't let opponents out of the ropes. And start games off with the kind of intensity you want to play for the entire 90 minutes. Regardless of the opponent, regardless of the venue. Still 0-0 here, but a fast start. Well, we did start off in attack mode, but nothing since that early chance. Still 0-0 as the second half gets underway. And these are the games where we are struggling a bit. You know, we picked a couple of starters in midweek against Brentford, granted, but this team doesn't have much depth, as we know. We've had to make some changes to the lineup tonight, and also got, you know, Gomez playing on the wing in this game. I don't like him there. I prefer him through the middle, but as Trafford makes a good save there from range. This is the big issue we've got, man. Games, even though we're not playing in Europe, we still have midweek games. So we're constantly playing every 3 or 4 days, especially when we do get into Europe. That means that constantly you have to rotate the lineup, play players in different positions. When that's the case, you're not fluid, you're not clicking. We talk about consistency and consistency of results. That's even harder to attain when you've got a lack of consistency of lineups as well. I'm definitely thinking in January it might be a good idea to... Oh, what a ball! Hold on. Had to do it. Hugo Larsson with the opener. Could have gone in with Kubo, but I thought, no, give it to the free man to the left-hand side with an easier finish to make it 1-0. Not really a cutback, certainly not an old-school cutback, but taking no chances there, especially with 26 minutes on the clock. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking in January, maybe bring in 1 or 2 more reinforcements to the squad. We haven't had any injuries to start this season off, other than a couple of bruises, which I haven't needed to worry about, but... we just don't have the depth, really. As Susak rolls it through, and cannon denied by Trafford. And that is going to do it. We will hold on for the win, and a big 3 points claimed, plus the clean sheet as well. Not at our best, we've mentioned this before. That is what you need to do if you want to be a top 4 team. Find a way to get the 3 points, even when you haven't played well. Big 3 points, 4 wins in a row, longest win streak of the season so far in the Premier League, and no losses in 5. That's 13 points up, picked up from us with 15. If this continues, no doubt about it, we'll be able to pull away from the chasing pack in the top 4. And our next 2 games are definitely winnable as well. Following contest, another newly promoted side away from home, Watford at Vicarage Road. Yeah, just grind it out, man. Grind it out. One goal victories all the way to a top 4 place. No one is going to complain about that. And we've mentioned this so many times before, but like nowadays, we know that so many teams want to play a very similar style. Everyone wants to play good, clean, attractive to watch football, but ultimately... listen, Manchester United right now, down the bottom of the table. If they win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League for next season. If they don't, it's been what many would call a catastrophic season. But, you know, if they were to have played a defensive style of football season long and scraped 1-0 all the way to the Champions League in a top 5 finish, I don't think the Manchester United fans would mind that Amorim didn't stick to his philosophy, if you will. Oh, but that's a wonderful build-up, but classic Doxy boy absolutely messes up the finish. What was that? That's why it's so hard for me to score nice team goals as Trafford makes a good save on the other end, because my build-ups are nice, but my finishes are awful at times. That should have been the opener. A simple save by Cadillac ensures it's not. But yeah, I mean, there's been so much criticism for Amorim, you know, talking about how he's not going to change his system, he's going to keep playing this way, even through this really, really tough debut season. And sometimes I think that kind of stubbornness can be really detrimental. Yeah, I understand you want to lay down a marker and do things your way. That's what you've been brought in to do anyway. But sometimes, you know, you just got to got to change things. If it's not working, you've got to change it. Anyway, 2-2 for Hugo Larsson. Red Devils take the lead in a fast start here at Vicarage Road. I feel confident in saying that they'll have a better season next year, regardless of whether they're in the Champions League or not. I feel quite confident that a summer of Amorim to get the players he needs, because that's the thing, when he took over there. This is also the thing as well. I do find a bit of fault with Amorim for being so rigid and so, I'm not sure the word is here, but stubborn, I suppose, in some ways, for, you know, refusing to consider alternative styles of play. But the one thing I will say, it's not really his fault. He was brought in. He would have said that in his introductory meeting. This is the way I play. This is the way we're going to play. End of story. The fault is with Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe. They knew that. They brought him in when there was no transfer window to work with at the time. Us taking over Ten Hag. Like, this is not really Amorim's fault. In a way, yes, of course, he could still be willing to change the system a bit, but ultimately the biggest failing should go on Jim Ratcliffe. It's like the equivalent of, you know, wanting to go to a friend's, like, dinner party, but they're only serving steak. Like, they're only serving steak and burgers, you know, and you're a vegetarian. Like, I'm a vegetarian, for example, so if I was to get invited to that party, I'd say, oh, I appreciate the invite, I'd love to come and join you, but maybe I shouldn't because, you know, I'm vegetarian, so I wouldn't be able to eat any of the food. And they say, oh, no, come anyway. I say, come anyway. Come anyway. We want you to come. And I'll say, okay, well, I'll come, but I'm not going to eat any of the food because I'm vegetarian. They say, okay, come anyway. And then I come, and they serve me food, and I don't eat it, and they get annoyed at me. It's like, well, what I told you. I told you that I'm vegetarian. What are you expecting? This surely isn't my fault as Jadon Sancho makes it free. What a performance at Vicarage Road, and absolutely running right on the Hornets out there for our 5th straight win. Yep, Jadon Sancho, Watford boy, of course, before moving on to Manchester City. It's a shame what's happened to his career in recent years, man, because I remember watching him at Dortmund and thinking that he was going to be a world beater, but unfortunately, he's just had a real drop-off in confidence, a drop-off in form, a drop-off in self-belief, and certainly a drop-off in reputation as well. Still a young man, still has time to carve out a decent career, and here at Old Trafford he'll certainly still be in my team. Great performance there with a couple of goals and a big 3-0 victory. Right, another win notched up, 5 in a row in the league, best run of form so far, and now welcoming our ex-team, Leicester, coming to Old Trafford. It was another winnable fixture here as we go for our 6th win in a row and no losses in our last 7 in the league. Top 4 right now. Keep this kind of form up, we'll be targeting top 1. The position Manchester United are in, I mean, I think, I don't know whether the fans just feel kind of numb to it, really, after the recent years, but ultimately, as Trafford makes a good save there, it's a flag up there. No, it wasn't. I thought it was offside, obviously not. I don't know if the fans are numb to it, but to be where they are in the table right now, the Europa League, I'll say it's papering over the cracks. It's papering over a hole in the wall. Do you know what I mean? But really, to me, I think the brunt of the blame, yes, some should go on the shoulders of the manager. Yes, certain players should be taking a lot of responsibility too. But to me, the brunt of the blame and the brunt of responsibility should fall onto Jim Ratcliffe, in my opinion. You know, he's the one that's came in and promised to, you know, make the changes and get Manchester United back to where they need to be. Obviously, it's going to take time, we understand that, but ultimately, some of the decisions he's made, some of the things he's said, and some of the tone-deaf kind of approaches he's had as well, oh, Sancho fires just wide, have been a bit embarrassing, really. I think most of the blame should fall onto Jim. I love how Leicester's team is almost exactly the same as where we left it. They've brought in Yeremy Pino, who's on the bench. Ramsdale, who's on the bench. They've got Keller, who they just signed in goal as well. You know, sometimes when you join a new team and you leave that club and they absolutely blow it up. Thankfully, Leicester haven't done that, at least in the first season. And there is the injury. We were talking about it. Haven't had an injury since the season began, or not a serious one. That may well be a season ender. Angel Gomez forced off on the stretcher. And yeah, based on the animation, probably ACL. If any team was going to end our winning run, in a way, I'm kind of pleased it's Leicester, man. I might have left them, but I've still got a soft spot for them. I don't know whether you guys are the same as me, but just because you left a team, you don't want them to fail. You still want them to do well. As Hugo Larsson puts his man on the floor, gets away from Fatawu, and out wide is Destiny. Can we find a late winner in a game we've not played too well? It wouldn't be the first time this season. It wouldn't even be the second. As Sanchez, puts it off target. Probably final chance. It's going to be another goal without a game without a goal for Sanchez. And our unbeaten roll will get extended. But Leicester will end the winning run. As we get back to the main menu, we'll see the injury extent for Angel Gomez. Fingers crossed it will be a lot less than the 7 months that I'm predicting. I'd take 2 months, really. 2 months is possible. And it is indeed a broken metatarsal, so thankfully we'll be back in late February and won't miss the rest of the season. But as January is here, plenty of money in the budget, we've got to bring in some reinforcements for the squad depth. There's a few players I'm really keen on, particularly in midfield as well. I like the idea of bringing back Jack Hinchelwood to the Premier League. He's moved on to Getafe in the save. You know, he's got that stamina, which is decent, and a good technical stats as a versatile kind of midfielder. He can also play fullback as well. Walter Berger at Stoke might be a bit of a wild card option there. Great physicality, but could also play as a centre-back as well as central midfield as well. Have talked about the possibility of bringing Adam Wharton, James Garner coming back as well. So lots of options. But for now, we'll just dive into our following game and consider some of these afterwards. Yep, next up, aims to get straight back to winning ways as we travel to the South Coast to take on Brighton. Now, dropping out the top 4. I said earlier, top 1, we got a chance. Nah, forget that, man. We're a long way off. All we need to do is get back into 4th place and try and stay there as well. Tough one here, though. Brighton on the South Coast. Might have seen pre-game as well. We've got Tyler Dibbling back. You may have noticed it when we took over Manchester United. He was out on loan. And he's just come back for this January window, so perfect timing with Gomez going down. We've got an extra option on the wing now. And great young talent, as we know. Really great young talent, very high ceiling. And lucky to have him here with the Red Devils. Still want a signing, though, of course, you know. I mean, it doesn't change the strategy. I still want a new signing as Gonzalo fires in the opener and Brighton have the lead 6 minutes in. Well, it's often the way, isn't it? You finally slip up and then straight afterwards another one comes directly in the next game. It's why consistency, and I know I keep saying it, but it's why it's so important, man, because form incredibly overpowered. You've got to make sure if you've fallen, you get straight back up. Dorgu, Ugarte, plenty of time, denied, and a rebound. It's the post from Kubo, and Kadioglu gets it away. Fast start, still trail him. Kadioglu down left-hand side, gets away from Tapsoba, back to Mohamed Kudus, and the former Iron rolls it across. Brilliant football, excellent, one extra pass like they're playing rugby, and Minte is not in the corner to go over for the try, but in the middle to smack it home for the second. 2-0 Brighton, 20 minutes down. This is often a problem for me. I concede one and I concede another one straight afterwards. The head just drops. And that's a mental thing, as we know, man. Like, the best teams, the best athletes, the best people, really, they will bounce back from an early setback. I will be totally honest, that has always been an issue of mine in my personal life as well, as in football, sport, gaming, whatever else as well. Like, as soon as I have an early knockdown, I'm like, oh, that's it, it's over, it's over. It's like, bro, what are you talking about, man? It's always been an issue of mine. It's that kind of ultra defeatist personality I have, really. As Jorginho Rutter almost made it free. I'd like to think I'm quite resilient over time, but in the moment, instantaneously, I have to be honest, I am definitely not. I always feel terrible after an early setback. Tyler through to Sanchez, absolutely gassed, not even at half time yet. And he needs a breather, so thankfully that cup trip to the Hawthorns is coming next as Hugo Larsson, oh wow, puts it wide, and it remains at 2-0, and that sums the half up, man. I think sounds that for no wins in these 2 games, and no goals in these 2 games. Nightmare first half of the Amex, but if you watch my Plymouth Argyle career mode, you wouldn't be surprised. Brighton are my bogey team. Every year I have a different bogey team in career mode, and this is mine in FC 25. And it's why I often say, if you really struggle against a certain team, you know, like, you might think, oh, why can I never beat Fulham? Every time I go to the Cottage, I get beaten. Why? I've got a great team. Why am I always losing there in West London? Or you think, oh, every single time I take on Southampton, I always fail to beat them. Just remember, it's a bogey team. Every single one of us will have one. And I'm no exception. Brighton is my bogey team. You might win against Brighton every time you face them. I definitely don't, as Larsson fails to score after 2 bites of the cherry, and it's still 2-0. This is my bogey team. Had the chances out there. Still down by 2. Gonzalo shooting. Trafford seemed to lose the flight of the ball there, and in the end had to adjust his body to push it behind for a corner. Almost an absolute clanger from what has been one of our players of the season so far. And so Riley pops it in. Van Hecker finds Meyer. Free. Played well. 3-0 down. But why am I surprised? It's Brighton! They are my bogey team, man. This is not one bit surprising at all. what a ball. Matt O'Reilly, absolutely brilliant. And this might be 4. It's rolled in. It's Ramos. It is. Absolute humiliation on the South Coast. But this is a game where the scoreline does not tell the full story, man. I have not played that badly, I assure you. Haven't taken our chances on the offensive end, but to be fair, carved open way too easily on the defensive end. Just one of those games, and sometimes when that happens, the best thing to do, instead of being overly critical and overly analysing the performance, is just say, it was one of those days when nothing went right. Head up, move on to the next one, forget all about it. That's life, that's football, these things are going to happen. And directly after the game as well, this is an interesting one. Now, I'm expecting a couple of bids for some of my star players in the window, but guys, you had your chance, you sold him, live with it. Man City wanted to take back James Trafford, but no, he's our number 1 now. He's left you and come to us, and he's not making the switch from West to East Manchester. Right, let's jump into the following game. We've got West Brom away at the Hawthorns. Again, back-to-back games without a win, but that was the league. This is the cup, and I would say, well, let's be honest here, this is the only competition we can win this season. So, got to make it through the 3rd round first. West Brom away at the Hawthorns next up. It's my biggest piece of advice, really, for anyone that's suffered a major setback of some kind, anyone that's been knocked down to the canvas, anyone that's suffered some kind of embarrassment, and you've been absolutely taken back by how bad things were. Honestly, move past it, you know, move past it. If you sit on it, if you dwell on it, if you stew in it, it's just going to turn you bitter, resentful, angry, even more disappointed in yourself and lack self-belief moving forward. If you move straight past it, put it to the back of your mind, you can go into the next endeavour, whatever that may be, clean slate, and that's what we're doing here away in the Midlands. Up by a goal, Cameron's first of the season. And this should be progress to the 4th round here. I feel confident. Hugo to Ugarte, and once again, I've got him as centre-half in this game. He's not really a centre-half at all, but due to squad depth, putting him in there again. And Cameron, oh yeah, 2 in 39 minutes, doubles up. Manchester United, 2 goals in front in the Midlands, and yeah, 4th round, here we come. Yeah, that's why I wasn't too beaten up on the back of that loss to Brighton by 4-0. It was a flash in the pan. Heading into this game, another clean sheet, our 4th in 5 in all competitions, and progress through to the 4th round. Don't dwell on big defeats, instead move straight past them, and we'll move into the 4th round. Let's see who we got. Hoping for another EFL side once again, either home or away. And like I said, this is the only winnable competition we got, because let's be honest, the Premier League is not going to be won this year. But, I mean, we've been asked to win it. So, you know what, anything short of a final place. And I do wonder what the board would think about our first season, especially if we don't make the Champions League. Well, the 4th round is going to pit us against Pompey away at Fratton Park. Lovely stuff, and I definitely think we should be getting through that to the last 16. Right, let's do one more game today then. Aim to get back to winning ways in the league after none in our last 2. Crystal Palace coming to Old Trafford, and again, because of how tough it is to get into the top 4, let alone top 5 as we've seen in real life, we're now 5 behind Aston Villa in 4th place, so this is a must-win game to end on here. Oliver Glasner's side coming to Old Trafford, our final one today. Even if we win this game, we're still going to be behind Aston Villa in 4th to close the episode out. That just goes to show you how hard it is, man. And some of you might be wondering, you know, why is it top 4 and top 5 in career mode and not like it is in real life? It's just because EA don't have the coefficient that way, so it's just kind of done in the traditional sense, if you will, as opposed to what we've seen this season. Oh, his last one is denied, and the rebound can't be turned in. So yeah, it's something I'd like EA to work on for the future, to be able to add that into the game, but I understand why they haven't been able to do so. It requires a lot of updating, if you will, season by season. If they can't even track stats season by season, I don't think there's much chance. Oh, it's Dan Neil fires wide the post, of them being able to track coefficients year after year as well. But anyway, fast start, still 0-0. I wouldn't be against us going into the Europa League next year. You know, Europa League, of course, qualify for the Champions League by winning it, as we know, as Manchester United and Spurs know as well. But it's whether the board would be good enough with that. Because ultimately, let's be honest here, that's probably where we're more likely to finish. 5th, 6th or 7th. Yeah, I would say personally we've got more chance of a 5th, 6th or 7th place finish this season. Just because, again, it's so hard to get in the top 4. As we know, the bigger teams, the better teams are currently better than we are right now. But not only that, there's a wild card in the top 4 right now. And that often is the case every single season. There's a wild card. In real life, as we've seen, it's Nottingham Forest. Oh, he was on Sanchez and he just couldn't squeeze it in. And in this season in the save, it's Brentford, the wild card. And if we can't win this game, no wins in our last 3 in the league, back-to-back losses and 1 point taken for a possible 9. Yeah, might be early doors, but don't think we've got much chance of a top 4 place. It wasn't clear before as well. It certainly is now. We will need to make a signing in this January window. Gomez out until late February. I expect another injury to come not before long as well. Our squad is too small. And if we go 2-0 down here before the break as well, I think it is going to be back-to-back losses and no wins in 3. Definitely my mind is made up now. We need reinforcements in the window. I'm kind of disappointed by the board expectations for this first season as well. I mean, to win the FA Cup, get silverware in the cabinet when they were trophyless last year with early knockouts in the domestic cups, and finish in a Champions League place as well. Listen, one of those two I think is doable, but both? That's very ambitious from the board considering the squad we inherited. It is doable. And we still possibly could do it, but it's going to be very hard. I think it's going to be either or at best in this, our first season. 3-0 down here. And in these last 2 games, an aggregate scoreline of 7-0. Says it all, really. It's going to be 4. It's going to be 4. I don't believe it. Change the aggregate scoreline. It's 8. 8-0. Fans getting up to leave, don't blame them one bit. Now, I have always said I'll never leave a game early myself, but I wouldn't begrudge a fan for doing so based on what they're witnessing here. Definitely some crowd in the way and saying sacked in the morning. And definitely Doxy Boy feeling some pressure. 2 terrible losses in a row. And that'll do it for today's episode of the Realistic Criminal as well, guys. So big thank you for watching the video. If you have enjoyed it, if you have, then please do drop a like. Myself to you all, have a fantastic day. I will return in the next one with more games in the Premier League, aiming to get our form sorted on the back of back-to-back losses and no wins in our last 3 games. The FA Cup 4th round away at Fratton Park against Pompey. And with a couple of weeks to go to the transfer window slam shut, you best believe we're going to make some signings in the next episode. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.